Jus Riffin.
Tuesday night, 8:30 EST. Know where we be.
Jus Riffin.
Special guest and tech and talk. A musicology.
Jus Riffin.
Coming to you live at the same time. Here every week.
Jus Riffin.
Jump in the room, let's chop it up. It really ain't that deep.
Jus Riffin.
What's up, everybody? Am I on mute this week? No, I am not on mute this week because your boy was paying attention and took the mute button off and left it alone. Anyway, good looking at everybody. This is Jus Riffin, another Tuesday night. We do it every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, powered by Rug Radio. This is the 18th of February. We got a great show tonight. We got Ahto Rashed. We're going to get into it with him about music, art, and my favorite thing on planet Earth, wrestling.
Some say the only honest sport left.
Yeah, dude, did you know that that wrestling is actually the longest running, I believe, live show in the history of the world?
Wow.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me. You know, it's got a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah. They did so much entertainment. And we're going to talk about that because wrestling goes back a long time, you know, and the way that they have it now is so like there's writers, they're now on Netflix. It's crazy how much it's grown in a good way, and I love it. It's great, it's positive, and you know, they're coming with it. They're amazing athletes. That's all I can tell you, for sure.
For sure.
So what's cooking with Cookie this week? What's good with you?
Oh man, I've been having such a good time this week. You know, I've been diving in to different ways to mess with AI to accomplish things creatively, but not like, you know, creating a song that sounds like a McDonald's commercial, because a lot of the AI stuff I hear sounds like that. Not that McDonald's commercials are bad. I love McDonald's. No, I don't. I never eat McDonald's. That stuff sucks. It's terrible for you people. Come on. But
I
anyway,
like McDonald's every once in a while.
I know you do. You let me know sometimes, you know. Hey, you know, it's like in small doses, anything's good, like a little McDonald's, a little crack, you know, but
a little crack, for sure.
But, you know, but so I went, this is actually, I have a piece that I'm setting up for next week. I wanted to have it done for this week, but it didn't happen. But I went to Grok actually, and I wanted there's somebody in the space, I'm not gonna mention who it is, but that's really inspired me. And I wanted to write a song from their perspective. So I asked Grok to collect all of their posts, and I had ChatGPT make them concise. And I tried to really get inside like that person, because my music there's like an innuendo of darkness in there, but it's actually pretty positive, upbeat stuff. But it gave me an opportunity to create from a different perspective, and it was really interesting. And I thought it was an interesting way to use ChatGPT. I didn't use it to write lyrics or write chords. I just used it to collect concise information. Yeah, and it was really cool, and it was a cool experiment too. And I'll talk more about that next week. But I also want to follow up with last week's project, the jukebox, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'll share. I don't even know how to share this to the screen, but
yeah, you can do it. You can share it.
So let's see if I go to, I'm terrible with this stuff. I'm like my grandma, God rest her soul, right? But let's see, share screen. There we go. Okay, so if I go share screen. Okay.
Oh, we're cooking with Cookie.
Okay, so you guys see the screen?
Yeah. Oh, you changed the colors, bro. Look at you.
I'm just messing around. The colors and stuff really, I haven't found a look for it yet. But I thought it was cool. I'm playing off once again the fungibility. So it's like, here, fungibly fueled music from Cookie Rabinowitz. You send a little soul to this address, could be a penny, plays a song. But I created a cool visualizer. I'm not going to go through it now. I'm going to shoot a video and put it up later. I don't want to use a lot of our time on this. But when you hit play, there's a visualizer. And then I also created a leaderboard. So like when this thing is live now, but I'm not pushing it or anything. I'm just fucking around. But so people who transact the most, which incidentally, these are both me, they get put on a leaderboard. Now, this is interesting to me because, you know, a lot of people have tried like NFTs, fungible tokens. Hey, you have access to my community, or you have access to this or that. But to me, this is just a simple, fun way. Like if people are engaging and listening to my music and digging it for a penny, for 2 pennies, but if they genuinely like it, I'm still capturing their wallet address. So it still allows me to give them special experiences, or if I have a rough song that I'm working on, I want to share it with them, I can drop it in their wallets. If something's a collaboration, some visual piece, I don't really do visual art, unfortunately. I'm not talented that way, but if I collaborate with an artist, I can drop something like that in their wallet. But I'm starting to build this thing out. I'm starting to build it out, and I just want to say that I'm going to really explore this thing to the tilt. And I just want to, again, I want to throw props to AI, because my coding, I mean, I know how to make a little simple website, but I have no idea how to use API or the blockchain. And ChatGPT, not to be redundant, but it walked me through the whole process. And though it still took a lot of time, more so than it would probably take an actual dev, because they know what they're doing, I could get it done. And sometimes, even though I'm very busy as you are, sometimes we got more time than money, though. You know what I'm saying?
Jus Riffin.
So
Shoot it out, bro.
And so that's yeah.
That's it. That was your cooking with Cookie, or we doing it? Did you want to do a 2-minute tune up this week, or was that it? Was that your 2-minute tune up?
That's really all I got. I wanted to kind of keep people up to speed with what I was doing. I do want to add this. So like my heater broke last night, right? And I only get like 2 days a week that I can really go hard in the paint and make some music. And all yesterday it was down, and most of today we just got it fixed. That's why I'm kind of bundled up still. I'm still kind of feeling frigid. But you really get humbled and grateful when you're fucking cold. It's like, I'm like, wow, you take such things for granted. Like I couldn't, dude, I've played outdoor gigs in the wintertime and stuff, and you have to do what you got to do. But I could not play guitar yesterday at all. Like I was just like this. And it was really kind of heartbreaking for me, because I don't get a lot of time.
You don't have any like space heaters in the crib?
No, because I mean, really, we never really think shit's going to break. But you know what though? Lesson learned. We were talking about it today. Me and the missus, we're gonna grab some space heaters just in case, because it almost didn't get fixed today. And if that would have happened, a couple days of this, it was like 10 degrees in the house last night. Thank God.
Yeah, you should have a Rug Radio hoodie.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? We missed our opportunity to grab them. I'm gonna see if we can get a care package, Joe, because I want to seriously. And I'm glad that you're warm, but I want to get more of these
for sure,
and get you a hoodie, because you should be wearing the Rug Radio hoodie or a Jus Riffin hoodie right now. Thick coat, heavy with the mink pimpin' style.
And I just want to add one thing though. So like I have a shitload of dogs here, right? And I usually get home from work at like 4 a.m, and everybody's sleeping. The bed's full, and I sleep in bed like in this little hole like this. And I'm usually like, these fucking dogs, and fuck this. But last night,
but you guys were warm as fuck last
night. I was really glad. I was like, the one dog had his balls in my face. I didn't even care. Well, actually, he doesn't have balls, but if he had balls, they would have been in my face, and I didn't care. I was like, bring them on, bring on the nutsack. Come on,
oh shit, bring it on, bro. You ever think of like putting your dog around your neck?
You know what they call that? A Chihuahua chilla. No,
that's hilarious.
But I don't have a Chihuahua, but I'm sorry. It sounded like
I'm in sunny South Florida, bro. I'm sorry that you have to go through that. Sorry for anybody that's in winter still, anybody that's up north, anywhere where it's cold. I feel for you guys, like Shaka Khan.
For sure. So, when I get my bag, getting out of the cold, I'm going.
Yeah. Where are you going? Where are you headed?
I have no idea. I have to check and see what's cool. It's wild too. We have some aggressive pit bulls and shit. And it's wild because some places, like, you can't, I'm not sure. I think San Francisco is one of them. Like, you can't have a pit bull in certain states. So it's like, they
still got that thing going, huh? They still haven't.
A lot of places do. And actually, we had a little fight. I got my hand fucked up a little bit with one of my pit bulls.
Well, that's not going to help the cause.
Yeah.
Now, when they look back at this video, they're going to be like, "Nope, we saw you on video holding up your hand."
We're gonna cut that out. We're gonna cut that out. That's Lola. She's the best.
Don't worry, folks. We will edit that. We will edit that portion out. I came across. I wanted to mention of music wise. I came across this cool software. I know you're not fond of it. Maybe you're not fond of it yet, but I do want to try this somehow. There is no demo, which I'm a little concerned about too, but it's called Spawn, SPAWN. and Lemonade. Lemonade is spelled differently. You're going to have to look that up. But Spawn is really, really cool. It allows you to, use royalty-free samples that you can manipulate by MIDI. You can change the sounds, the tone of them. You can add your own tone, your own sound to the pattern or the melody. And then again, you can change the melodies up. You can, freak the bass, you can freak the piano, whatever. Like you have full kind of creative control over it, and it's all royalty free. I think it's a really cool thing. I want to dive into it more. I want to play with the actual software and see how good or bad it is, and then do a proper review. Maybe do a sound check on it, because I think it's cool. Now, Cookie, on the surface, how do you stand? Where do you stand on this type of software, Spawn, which allows producers to do exactly what I said?
I'm open to any productive tools. However, I have a strict software policy. So software has a different thing. Like there's usually a 14-day buyer remorse on things. And sometimes software can get through the loopholes of that because they feel like, hey, you got the software. And if you don't have a trial of your program, and if you don't have a return or a refund policy that's easily stated, and also, if I'm looking on YouTube and the only demos of the product I see are from people that obviously got paid to show the project, I just stay away from it. It's just that simple. And it might be a great tool, but I don't need it. Like I got melodies right now. It's like I got I'll melody all day. I'll melody myself into a coma. I'll punch my melody in the face. I'll melody oatmeal and some blueberries in a melody dish.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I feel you on that. All right. Thank you for your 1-2 on that. We will get back to you, ladies and gentlemen out there listening to us. We will get back to you on that. In the meanwhile, check it out yourself. See if you see exactly what Cookie sees. See if you see how I see it as it being a cool, fun, creative tool. But nonetheless, would love to hear your comments, everybody. Would love to hear what's going on. I want to give a little station identification. This is Jus Riffin. We do it every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, powered by Rug Radio. We got an awesome guest. Ahto Rashed is with us tonight. Cookie, I'm going to give you the honors here. I'm not going to give you the honors because there's nothing for me to give. We share the show. I'm always looking for ways to speak differently. So, my man, the mic is all yours.
Well, in this particular case, I actually like when you do it, Hef, because I just think you're way better at bringing on the guests. But in this particular case, I'm actually honored to bring on the next guest because I've known him for many years, and there's nobody like him, not even like close. He's very unique. His art is unique. His art is so vast and diverse, and he gets what it's like to be creative in a way that I really rock with. And I wanted to say vibe with, but I feel like it's overplayed, but I felt stupid with saying rock with. And but I'm stoked. And I've gotten to spend a lot of time with him. Wrestle. I don't know. Maybe we should just show the clip, Hef,
Wow. Okay. That was awesome, man. So much stuff. Welcome to the show, Ahto Rashed. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, man.
Hello. Have Mr. Rabinowitz. It's a pleasure to being this awesome holy trinity we have going right now. I appreciate being somewhere.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for being here with us, man. It's a pleasure. I want to, first of all, welcome you to Jus Riffin. So welcome to Jus Riffin. I want to start with the wrestling, really.
Before we go into the wrestling, I just want to say hi to the people out there listening, wherever, however, if you're hearing it later, hello from today.
That's right.
Wrestling, sorry.
Word up. All right. So, first of all, wrestling is not one for the faint of heart. And also you have to be super athletic. A lot of people think that it's fake. I wouldn't say that it's fake. I would say more, if anything, it's choreographed somewhat. But for the most part, when you're coming up and you're going through the trenches, there's hardly any coordination. You guys know what the moves are and whatever your communication is in the ring. But how did you get into wrestling, like professional wrestling? What was that like journey? What was that road like for you?
I reckon it was like anyone in their youth that I guess with everyone, when you're young, that's when you're most impressionable. So certain things just hit you and they leave an indelible, they hit you in the boo-boo. And when I fucking saw wrestling, man, it just, and as an avid comic book reader, to go from reading comic books, Men in Tights in the book, and then seeing it on TV come to life, it blew my mind. And the Road Warriors, when I saw Hawk and Animal and Road Warrior Hawk, they're both dead now. Road Warrior Hawk had this awesome catchphrase where he would say, snack on danger and dine on death. How could you not fall in love with that?
That's awesome. So as a kid, you're enjoying it. Thus, myself as well, and a lot of other, people that are in our age group, and they're loving it today as well because it's just grown tremendously. But so you see it as a kid, and you're like, okay, I want to do this, and you were had conviction in it, and confidence in yourself enough to do it. What do you do at that point? Then where do you go? How do you get into the ring? How does that happen?
Well, it's funny you should ask, because all three of us, well, I don't want to put the cards on the table, but us being older men, grizzled veterans in our 50s, when we were coming up, when I was your age, they didn't have wrestling schools. So it was really hard. It was kind of sad because I started training when I was 13. When I was 13, I said, fuck this. I was watching the Road Warriors versus Ivan and Nikita Koloff in a double Russian chain match. And I said, if I want to be them and be like them, I have to take action. So I dropped on the floor and started doing push-ups. While I was watching the match, I started doing push-ups every fucking day. And then I started doing sit-ups and pull-ups. I'm a teenager still. There was no schools in existence. But so when I was in junior high, they would let me and my buddy go to school early so that we can they didn't have a gym. They had one barbell, and we would just pass it back and forth and do like barbell curls. And we did whatever the hell we could. You make the most out of what you have. And it's amazing what you actually can do as long as you're consistent and you have a strong belief in what you do. You could go as far as you possibly could. But it wasn't until my late 20s when I started to discover and schools came around that I was able to finally, and boy, they kicked my fucking ass. It was a room full of like ex-football players, MMA guys, boxers. It was me and one other guy left by the second day because they put you through. I can't even put it into words, and especially back then because it was much more of a protected sport. And they didn't run their outsiders in. So they will make you, hey, you want to do this shit? We're going to make you cry and piss in your pants so that we make sure you want to do this and you want to be part of the brotherhood and keep everything kayfabe.
That's why I said it ain't for the light of heart. You got to really be dedicated to it and you got to be convicted to it because you guys take some bumps and, like all that stuff is legit. There's no, I mean, I like Mick Foley and Hell in a Cell, and Mick Foley, jumping off the top of the cage. that's like, you know, I don't even know how many feet up that is, 30 feet up, whatever the hell it is, into a table. That's just like, yeah, that's not like your average. Everybody is doing that, you know, like people are not just getting slammed through tables and getting hit with chairs or even taking bumps in the ring itself. That takes a lot of stamina. And you got to be a tough guy.
And mentally too, more than anything, because if you're tough in the mind, you can condition your body through your mind. So you don't have to be having muscles and some weight on you helps absorb the stuff. But as long as you're tight up here in your head, you can absorb the pain because you want it. But it's kind of like being in a relationship. You know, you can absorb the pain because you want it. But, but with pro wrestling, the simplest thing, like a body slam, people take for granted. Like that's your spinal cord is impacting against. I don't give a fuck how padded the ring is. It's your spinal cord, and then your neck's getting jarred because and then you're doing it at night.
Yeah, your neck snaps.
Night. Right. It's so to call it fake. I understand why people do it because it's easy. People like to do easy things. It's popular. Hey, let's dog pile on the rabbit and call wrestling fake. They don't call movies fake. You don't call Tom Cruise fake. You don't call stunt people fake. You don't call cartoons fake. They're works of art and their interpretations of things, and they're alive in their own different separate ways. So just to cast it off as fake is really offensive. But to each their own. If that's what makes a person happy, to call it fake. But not like.
There's nothing fake about it. You get hit in the head with a chair, or you land on some tacks, or you get hit with a barbed wire, you know, whatever the hell is. That's legit. You feel it when you get a suplex. You feel it when you get a body slam. You feel it, or bulldog, or speared, or any of the moves that they use in wrestling. Doesn't matter as long as you're hitting that mat, falling on your back, taking a bump. You're feeling it. You're getting wind knocked out of you. It's
And like you said too, how can it be fake if you feel it?
Yeah. It's not.
It's not fake if you can feel somebody slam you.
Fake.
What's that?
What the hell?
There's a great expression somebody came up with a while ago that wrestling is real, people are fake.
Yeah. That I could see.
Okay, but it's not for everybody. I understand. Like I love the Three Stooges. That's not for
now.
Everybody.
It is. Everyone loves it now. It's crazy. It's like a phenomenon. People that would never have thought of watching wrestling. I remember Joe Rogan doing comedy. I had an opportunity to see Joe Rogan when I lived in Los Angeles at the Comedy Store almost every Tuesday or Thursday night on Sam Tripoli's show, and he was working his material out for his Netflix thing, and he talked about wrestlers. I would never watch men tights or whatever, you know, like funny, like, you know, and now he's a fan of wrestling, you know what I mean?
He's had Undertaker on and all that type
stuff. Yeah. So he's changed his pitch up because I think after a while, and after you do your own research and you look and see, you'll realize that there's nothing fake about it. There's nothing fake about it. No. Yeah, you guys have to rehearse a little bit on big matches, I'm sure.
Yeah, and and the cat's out of the bag with that. As much as I hate to go behind the curtain, like you said, I mean, it is what it is. And we don't want to continuously insult the people's intelligence. It's a show. Right. It's like vaudeville. But vaudeville wasn't fake. A performance is not fake. A live play, a musical isn't fake. And what the fucking shit. Pro wrestling is more real than some of today's artists that go on stage and have auto-tune and lip sync over their fucking supposedly like
very true.
Hey, you know, I just want to add to that too. Like with movies and stuff, like that was such a great analogy, but maybe for that, like movies, not only are they not fake, but people are mesmerized by the CGI and everything. And like you said, like the wrestling thing, it's live. So it's like, it's entertainment, but it's live, so you're still without a net. You're playing without a net. Like a movie is just all like now computer and CGI. And I'm not shitting on that. It's entertainment. But I don't know why you would shit on a wrestling performance and wouldn't shit on, you know, Godzilla. I don't know. I would never shit on Godzilla, by the way.
But once again, though, too, because this day that we live in is super interesting. Now, there's always going to be hate that permeates the air to some degree, because it's in human nature. Love, hate, you know, yin and yang. But I believe when we were younger, coming up in the 80s and so forth, it wasn't things weren't as divisive, and people weren't so quick to be hateful and vengeful and spiteful. I'm just saying that based on the comment sections in particular, when I was on social media and when I'm on YouTube, the spiteful, mean, nasty comments that I see from, there's this one chick that I like. She does this. Well, I like her enough. She's stacked, but she cleans her car every day. It's ridiculous. She just cleans her truck, but she wears this really tight tube top and she's stacked. But guys go take their time to go into the comment section and say stuff like, blah, blah, blah. You need to stop going to McDonald's and shit. And someone's dying for attention.
Oh, wow.
It's like, yeah, she's done. Who isn't dying for attention? They act like they're so special. And it's like, why do you take the time? Why are you trying to bring her down? Why are you,
why you
on her,
negative energy
on her channel? Don't just walk away.
Yeah,
why are you here?
Nothing. Yeah.
But there's a huge thing now with going back to people calling wrestling fake. Over the years, it's become more and more popular and fashionable to say, yeah, that's that fake shit. Like when you see a guy that's jacked and automatically he's on steroids. It's popular to shit on people. 100 years ago, there was a popular song, a popular album called Peace Sells, but who's buying? Megadeth, thank you very much. Peace does sell, but nobody's buying that shit. People want they want the sensationalism and something palpable about hate that people just, because look at the fucking news and everything with the Democrats and the Republicans everybody's pointing fingers and they just love it. It's crazy. It's a crazy time right now.
Absolutely, dude. For sure. I mean, people are, what do you think, man? People are out of control on certain things, man.
Well, speaking of out of control, when I listen to your show, because I like to support, people talk about when we were younger, my pleasure. I appreciate people bringing something to the people and making it immersive and everybody can be a part of it. When we were younger, people would say support the arts, blah, blah, blah. You don't hear that anymore. You don't hear any support. People just go off and do their own fucking thing. And then it's like, whatever, unless you're already famous. Then they want to, I'm going to buy a ticket to see so-and-so's movie to support. You're getting out that he's famous. Like, what good is that? But with Cookie's intro to the show, the song Blue, do you gentlemen get anybody writing emails or commenting saying, hey, who the fuck, what amazing piece of artistry, who wrote that? Does anybody ask?
I haven't seen it. Cookie gets a lot of fan mail, so he can answer that.
My mom was like, I think it's cool, but you really should start thinking of different ways to be able to get out of my basement soon. You're at that age,
And that's another thing too, the basement thing. And I'm not ragging on you about this, but that's a popular thing when people go, blah, blah, blah. He's just hating from his mom's basement. Or I've written some of the best music. I created some of the best animations, had some of the best ideas, and some of the best sex in my mom's basement.
Yo, I love it.
With that. On the occasion, when you're having hard times, you move out, you move back. Or in my case, I moved out, I moved back a bunch of times, and it was always productive. And people were just so quick that, and Julia Cookie wasn't shitting on people per se, just making a joke. But that's a thing I see online a lot. Like, he's an angry wrestling fan they try to demean wrestlers and comic book people by saying he's just a nerd in his basement, in his mom's basement.
I just want to chime in. It's like, I actually am tongue in cheek when I say that, because I think it's I think it's funny how that is like a thing, and I find it funny, but like really when you it's like people go through divorces, they go through shit, and it's like that's what the family is for. It's like and nowadays everybody wants to say fuck the family, let me get away from my family. And I gotta admit I feel that way sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I just don't rock with my family, but really it's like that's your strongest power, man. Your family bond.
True to that.
But once again, back to the Blue song that opens up the show, I've forgotten, I hadn't forgotten it, but it hasn't been on my mind in the forefront. Such a great song. I remember at one point
it's my favorite.
Yeah, exactly. You feel it too. I learned it on bass, and when I had Instagram, I posted a clip of me jamming to it on bass and got a lot of compliments where people were like, "Yo, that's a sick groove." It says so much. A lot of his lyrics are timeless too, man. And I don't think you, Cookie, as the artist, understand the weight of what you have brought to the table and see that maybe it's not being it's not in the sunlight now, but unfortunately you may have to die before it happens. But it is here, and it will see the light of day at some point, because the shit fucking is fun. Your work is phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many songs.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate that so much, and believe me, it really feels good. But I want to spin this around on your music, because I remember we were talking about your wrestling, but your music, it's kind of mind blowing, because you're not like a trained musician. Like, if you could, anybody watching, they can see in the room, there's a lot of different instruments there. And I remember, like, we talk from time to time, and we talk about, like, you'll tell me about a new piece you're experimenting with. To be honest, there's so many different instruments, I forget the names of them. There's some wild names of some shit, like some Celtic shit you're fucking with. But when I hear it all in your recordings too. I was telling Hef before the show, it's like I picked this little funky jam that I put with your video clip when I just spliced a bunch of shit together that you had. But like, you have stuff that sounds like an orchestrated piece with strings that you hear in like a movie, a dramatic movie. Then you have stuff that just sounds like crazy death metal punk. You really run the whole gamut, and really with your diversity as an artist too, from the wrestling, it's really interesting. And I'm just interested in that, because I'm not mad at people that stay in their own lane. And sometimes I feel like I'm guilty of that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but you have a style, but you're not really limited to, like, it would be impossible for anybody to pigeonhole you. Anybody that saw that video clip that never even made before, they'd be like, what the fuck is this? I think Minton even commented on it. He was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm seeing right now. It's like, because it's like one person. Like, I want to just reiterate this. Anybody that saw that video, like, Ahto was the guy wrestling in it. He was the guy that made the cartoon animation of the girl laying in bed, smoking a cigarette. He made all those animations. There was some puppet master shit in there. I want to dig into that a little bit too, because that's like, you really are not limited by anything. You let your imagination just run fucking wild. And I think that's so cool. And it's very rare today, because not musicians, but people trying to quote unquote make it. And, you know, hey, we all got to make it in some way just to make life, make the bills. But people trying to make it, they feel a lot of times today that you need to specify. Like, and I see that, like, be specific, like, take one thing and really dive in. I've seen you dive into many things, but you really dive into many things. You're not just kind of like, I don't know if you heard that, but you know, you're not a poser.
No, I know, and I appreciate what you're saying, but you know, like, especially the thing about staying in your own lane, and sometimes you motherfuckers stay in that lane. You know, stay in that lane, because that's better suited for some people. Like, friggin' Elon Musk should stay in his lane, or whatever the hell. I don't even know what he does. SpaceX, whatever the hell, whatever that computer stuff is. He shouldn't try to do animation, probably, and puppetry. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't seem creative. So, and look where he is. You know, so he's staying in your lane. But sometimes having not multiple lanes, having the world be your fucking canvas and your brain be like a brush, it's a burden. I can't sleep. I wake up and I want to stay in bed, because I know how much I'm about to do. I know I have all these things, and I just lay in bed for a while and go, okay. And I go to bed thinking I'm going to do a tight shot of the window of this building for this puppet. And I'm going to go inside, zoom out, cut around to the building. Her feet's going to be floating, going to follow her into her laboratory. And I'm thinking about all this before I go to bed, and I wake up and then I go through it. But even as I'm doing that, tonight normally I will be filming Night by Nygar, Nygar by Night, the opening and closing monologues. So I'm painting the face, putting the whole gimmick on. And it's like, it's always, you know, I got to record the music for it. I got to do the levels. I have to figure out, well, I don't have to. It's by choice. Well, it's not even by choice. Creative expression is the need of my soul. I don't necessarily choose to do this. It's like it beckons me. It really, if I don't do it, I can't watch a movie or listen to music without thinking, oh, I could do this, I could do that. When I listen to you guys' show, and I watch your show, I was watching the stuff with the Noom guys, NEWM, for you people watching. NE, that's in new, and the M as in music at the end. If you're interested in music, getting your work out there, or you want to just jump onto something, these guys know their shit. And I think his name was Ryan Neal, one of the gentlemen. who also is studying to be an orchestra conductor.
Yeah.
Fucking mind-boggling. I would love to see you guys have him back on and just talk about that, because I would love to hear the age range of the people that he's taking the classes with. Are they young? Are they old? Are they in between? How many Gen Zs and millennials are interested in classical music? I was so fascinated when you said that. And conducting an orchestra that's how fucking much harder can,
You got to know all the instruments. You got to know all the
Exactly.
notes. You got to know how each one's played.
Hey,
A lot.
you know, speaking of the conductor, which I think is an art, and that's kind of like, I don't want to call it old school because it's still done today, but now, I mean, let's talk about the puppets. And you were just talking about like shooting the scene and everything. Exactly. Yeah.
What puppets are you talking about?
So
Did you make these puppets yourself, by the way?
Yes. I'd like to go into that for a moment, but go ahead, Cookies.
Sure.
Please go ahead.
Well, I mean, I want you to go into, because what's interesting to me is, it's funny because Hef was just talking at the beginning of the show, and I wasn't shitting on the software, but I was kind of shitting on the way they offer it up. But he was talking about software that was kind of aids in helping writing and stuff, and I'm down with it. But it speeds up the process. And today society is so stressed on your output. How much do you output? How much do you output? But all of the things that you ticked off, wrestling, making puppets, shooting scenes while you're shooting the scenes and actually operating the puppets, animation, fucking animation. There's a lot of people in this space that have dabbled with animation, and they know on any level of doing animation, it's fucking time consuming. But my point is everything you do, not only it's very long processes to do them. It's actually I'm not saying you're being anti, but it's kind of anti where technology is moving all the creatives. Technology is moving all the creatives to, hey, use AI, shit some stuff out. I'm not knocking it, but output. You got to have output. Oh my God, you're an music artist. You only dropped 10 songs this year. What kind of lazy piece of shit? Or you should drop 50 songs a year that you're going to get paid 2 cents on. Not that the money is an issue, but I'm just saying it's like you got to make money to live while you're creating those 50 songs too.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'll run by the audience how easy it is to do this, should a person be interested. But like you said, there is, society scares me, and I'm not against artificial intelligence at all. Everything has its place, but it's called artificial. That means fake. If we get too lost into that shit, I mean, there's a time and a place for that. But we need to take back some of the humanity, especially with artificial art. A lot of times, more often than not, it looks beautiful, but there's a soul that's missing. There's something about a painted brush stroke. You can't, and even like you said, the time. When I'm drawing animated, when I'm going to animate a building or do an illustration, I could just pull up some Google stock photos, and I have, and I will on occasion, but mostly I'll go for a goddamn fucking walk. I'll walk around the block and I'll look at the street lights. I'll look at the telephone poles. I'll look at the wires and the birds in the bushes and notice how the porches are connected or not connected. And I go, oh, wow. And in doing so, it brings me closer to the world and people in general. Because then I'll see a neighbor or a stranger and you crack a smile, not walk away though, Cookie, but you crack a smile and you have a nice, pleasant exchange, which warms your heart. It makes you feel good. You made them feel good. It was like that energy that's irreplaceable. You can't replace that with artificial intelligence, which definitely has its place.
Let me ask you, are you sketching when you go out walking around the block and you're looking at all this stuff? Are you just taking it in memory and then outputting it? Or are you actually writing, or like drawing, maybe sketching a couple things out and bringing that back to where where you're going to start doing the animation? What's your process for that?
It's from memory. I have thought about sketching, going to the park and just sitting there like the old school, but it's from memory because I enjoy being in the moment more too. That's another thing with the artificial age, and I'm not talking about AI. I mean just technology and everything in general. It's kind of an artificial age where we go to text and the auto spell comes up and starts sending words we already used before, just speaking for us and shit. It's like we're getting separated from, we want to get a chance to express ourselves before. I saw in the YouTube comment section, now I blocked the guy for it. He didn't say anything bad, but he just kept going, This song kind of reminds me of this song. It became every video, and it was all complimentary. He would say like yes or Rush or Metallica, but I'm like, dude, I don't want to be. Could you imagine?
Yeah,
like,
I feel you 100%, man.
Tell me like going on a date with a hot chick and telling her every day you remind me of Claudia
My
Schiffer.
ex-girlfriend.
She'd be like, come on now, could I just be me? But the YouTube prompt, I just realized, has a thing where when you go into the comment section, tell them what it reminds you of. Tell them what vibe you're feeling. I'm like, why are they telling people what the fucking...
Wow.
It freaks me the fuck out. But then I would imagine, like, the guy's a friend of mine, so I don't hate him, but I'm not... I don't suffer that bullshit. I don't want to turn on my hard work, the heart and soul I put into my song and keep hearing you reference me to somebody else. As it gets old every time.
Yeah, it gets old.
You know,
like, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, but you just struck on something that was really kind of eye-opening for me, because it's kind of like you're doing the creator a favor by saying that, really, because you're generating algorithm juice, right? But at the same time, you're kind of insulting them. It's really wild. Like, and I mentioned this on another show, but a friend of mine once got a song placed on a major network television show because the person that was looking for the song was searching for a band that sounded like, and the person that wrote a review on the song said, hey, this person reminds me of this band. So the comparison actually got that dude paid. And I see this with YouTube now too. But from my perspective as an artist, there's nothing that makes me cringe more when somebody says, oh, this reminds me of such and such. I'm like, yeah, well, this reminds me of go fuck yourself.
No, and like I said, and YouTube, they're a bunch of pussies. I mean, I appreciate the platform, but they ain't got no balls. They have flagged so many of my comments. The last ones, because I simply said science, bitch, in all capitals with exclamation point, because the guy was a exercise scientist, and I was just using a Jesse Pinkman quote from Breaking Bad. I didn't call anybody a bitch. I just said science, bitch. And YouTube was like, oh, we have to take it down, blah, 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 blah. They always hit me with that fucking bullshit. So I'm like, so I don't comment anymore. As of 2025, I'm like, I'm not commenting on nobody's shit because I want my work to stay where it is. I don't want to get a bunch of flags for expressing myself.
Yeah. Let me ask you, you put a lot of different videos and stuff on your YouTube channel. What is Down to the River about?
You know what? I think, that was about, I went through a long, I was down in the river of alcohol for a long time. Now, I made that video as a poser because I think when I originally made it, it was Black History Month. So I think there's a bunch of images I haven't seen in a while of like Black people and stuff. But it kind of sounds spiritual, the song itself. So it made sense. But I don't like jumping on them. I've been a poser in my time, and it's not cool. But the important thing is you grow from it and move beyond it. But I was a poser on Twitter for a whole year. I was posing like I was one of the cool NFT guys. I was typing in GM every morning and sharing my stuff. And fuck your good morning. I don't give a fuck. It's not some shit that I would say, but that was the cool thing to say. So I was saying it for a year with no response because they probably could see through my bullshit. And I understand that. I can appreciate that. I respect the NFT community. I'm not saying it's, but that's not me to say. In GM, the abbreviation era, the abbreviation age, everybody abbreviates.
GYOR.
TBH, FR, friggin' NGL.
FR.
Abbreviate your fucking life away and shit. What the fuck's going on? Everybody just like, can you speak English? Can you spell the words that you're abbreviating anymore?
LOL.
Jus Riffin.
I mean, and it has its place, but I see it so much in the comment section where between that and people just speak emoji. They say, fuck English. We're just going to comment in all hearts and thumbs up.
Yeah, it's funny. I can relate on that because there was a point in my life where I was like, what are these emojis? It's weird. I don't get it. And then it's funny when I got into this space, I started using them all the time. And like, I look at it differently now. Like, it's just a thing. Like, I use them for different things. I like it. Like I like certain things about emojis. But it's like, I see where you're coming from. And I actually felt that same exact way at one point.
But
we need to go back to beepers and cell phones, man.
Yeah.
But the important thing, like half or cookie, if you like it, emoji your fucking ass off and shit. Sure. Or, abbreviate your, I'm not saying I hate people that do it, but I see it so often because things become popular and things become trendy, understandably. And for the youth, big time, do you, as the kids would say, or whatever. I don't know who says that anymore, but do you. But I just miss seeing words. Like I would like to see words, but that's my personal pet peeve. I don't want it to be a reflection of how I feel about people that abbreviate all the time. But I just would like to see people. It just seems quick and lazy. Whereas when you take the time,
it is lazy. It is lazy. We're in that world, you know. We're in that TikTok world where I'm not in that, but like I say, we are as a whole of the human race is like majority of the people are stuck in that warped reality, which is a fast, like just ADD on steroids.
And because you do emoji and abbreviate, because that's popular to say TBH, NGL, whatever emoji that's popular, you run the chance of getting more likes, which this blows my fucking mind. I've seen people get like 1,000 likes and they go back and edit their comment. And then in the comment section, they say, gee, thanks a lot, guys. I never got so many likes before in my life. Is that going to pay for your fucking your mortgage and shit? You got likes in the comment. Like it just but that's how easily appeased people are now too. It's just, which is like frightening to me. Like that made your day that people press the like button for a simple comment. And these comments that get liked are basic as fuck. Nothing, no kind of like imagination behind it. It'll be something as simple as men of culture, we meet again, 1,000 likes, and the guy's all happy and shit. So we're in a weird place. When I watch wrestling, I get scared and I feel sad for the people that they see they're on the big Titantron at the event when the show's being filmed, so they know that they're on TV. They're looking at the Titantron, point and go, no, that's me, that's me, that's me. All happy and proud like they did something. And then when you get home, guess what you're going to see? Your goddamn fucking neck, because you were busy.
You want to see yourself on TV. There I am, Mom.
Instead of being lost in the moment, watching what was going on in front of. I've seen like main event Jey Uso come down the aisleway, and the crowd's so busy filming him. They're watching this guy, a celebrity, a guy that they admire, 1 foot in front of them, but they're watching him through a fucking phone. Like you can't just watch it on Netflix later because it's on Netflix now. But you know, you gotta have your phone and you gotta take yourself out of the fucking moment.
It's been like this for a while, dude. You know, it's been like this, dude, since we've gotten cell phones that you can record video really with it. Concerts have been this way, where people are just filming the filming it. It's like, you're right, 100%. You're in the fucking arena, the person performing is right in front of you, but you're videotaping it. Enjoy the moment there. It's being videotaped by them.
I know, you can see it later.
Yeah. It
makes me feel sad, especially when the wrestlers are right there in front of you. It's like
it's that instant gratification.
Yeah.
Instant gratification.
I want to add this to the mix though. It's like I agree with that. And sometimes, you're doing like sometimes my girl will have a show, right? And I'll be out to that and I'll be like, yo, I want to definitely take a picture and have it as a memory later. I'll enjoy most of the show, but I might take a quick snap because I want to do something like that. She's a musician as well, or one of my friends. So that's a little different. But I want to add to that. Sometimes the artist commands the opposite of that. Like I saw a performance by an artist. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, and this is the first time I noticed that you could, like if you're doing art right, you can change that. I saw it was, and it might have just been his performance, but I saw an artist. His name is Cody Chestnut, and he was performing at a little place. So
people say underrated too much, but he's underappreciated.
And it was wild because I saw him, and it was weird because I'm not embarrassed to say it. I guess I get kind of a fanboyish sometimes, if that's what they call it, or starstruck. When somebody that I think is like really talented and they're really killing it, and I'm really in close proximity, sometimes I just go like a retard. I mean, retardio's cousin. Sorry, I didn't mean to. But that was I noticed that show, nobody, and he didn't tell anybody anything, but nobody broke out a cell phone while he was performing. Not one person. And I noticed to the point where I noticed it to where that was my social media post the next day. I was like, whoa, I was at this Cody Chestnut thing. And I noticed that the cell phone stayed in everybody's bags and pockets. Dude's doing something right,
Yeah, it's the way to do it. I heard, I don't know who it is, but I heard of somebody saying, you got to leave your cell phones at the door.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
that was before We Are the World. They were leave your egos at the door when they're shooting We Are the World. But I can understand the mix-up, Hef. I'm sorry.
You need a drum set here so we can do a.
We are the world.
But yeah. So that's with the whole just the world is abbreviating itself, and they're fast tracking themselves into missing them. Like when I walk down the street, like I like to just go for a walk occasionally, especially when I'm working on a puppet or animation. I get stuck in my head. I'm like, where do I go now? And I get frustrated and down on myself. Let me go for a walk, and I'll go for a walk for a block or two in the fresh air. Even when it's cold as shit, that nice brisk wind blowing up my shirt. I have a jacket on, but I could still maybe do a little bit of this and get that, and it's invigorating. And then just like I said, you walk by somebody, a man or a woman, whoever, and hey, what's up? And just that quick human exchange to take yourself out of yourself and to be in the moment. And people just are so. When I watch wrestling, because I still watch Raw, and I just see everybody doing this, I'm like, but you're right there. Like, you could have a better view if you did this.
Just watch it, enjoy it.
Right, and watch it on TV later.
That's right.
These moments are precious and they're few, and it's short. Life is short, so I'm going for a walk. I see people on their phone walking in there. Whenever I see a hot chick, I'm like, man, she could catch it. But I'm like, she's on her phone. She cannot catch it. Not from me. She's not my type. Not my type. She's self-involved.
No phones allowed.
She's busy on fucking, TikTok and the fake book. I'm like, nah. You can do that shit when you're home. Now you're out here in this incredible world. The world is incredible. Just the simple shrubbery in your lawn is incredible.
I think I know what you're going to say, but the world today is in TikTok. Marketing brands are in there. They use these social media platforms because they know that there's people there. They know people are watching. What's your take on using social media to build your brand, to get what you do, to get the awareness out of what you do? Like, what's your process in that? And what do you think of that? What do you think of that, of these social media platforms, allowing you to get your stuff out there so mass amounts of people can view it?
It's funny because with so much in life, it's a blessing and a curse. And that's the joke of life. It's like life is the joke, but death is the punchline. It's like, it's always a really fucking big catch because social media is great. You can keep in touch with friends, family. You could potentially meet your next girlfriend. I mean, social media is just great. You can get jobs from social media. So when they see your work and go, yo, boom, boom, boom. I joined social media 100 years ago when Facebook was kicking in, and I was working at a bar, and one of the other bouncers said, yo, man, you could get, your bookings for wrestling. I was just, I was green, getting my shit in with wrestling. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. And he's like, no, for real. And I was super ignorant to the whole thing. So he took my phone and set me up an account. Next thing you know, I was getting, what's that?
No, that's dope. That's
he was a good friend. Yeah, and I actually blocked him on YouTube, but he's still my good friend because he's the guy. Every fucking thing that I post, legend. That's it. That's all you got. No matter what I post, it's going to simply in all caps post legend. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you to expend so much energy coming up with an original thought and sharing your feelings. Just post legend again and again and again.
Yo, Hef, I just want to chime in real quick. There was this app that me and Hef were on for a while. It was a cool app. It didn't make it, but they would always post those fake responses, people just to get the engagement. And dude, Hef got on this, this rage. It was pretty cool where he would confront everybody that was responding phone. He'd be like, yo, come on, dude, is that all you got? And it wasn't but they weren't his posts. They were other people's posts. Somebody would post somebody post some generic shit, and it would be like, come on, dude, what's up with this?
I couldn't take it because people are stupid. Bots, engagement farming,
But social media it is great. So when I did that on Facebook 100 years ago, it was incredible. I went from maybe one booking to I was turning down bookings then, just by simply having my work. And I was in stupid shape then. I was training like there was no tomorrow. I was drinking protein all day. And people always accuse me of doing steroids, or they would ask, hey, automatically, are you on steroids? Once again, the the limitations that we've put on the human mind and what we can do as humans is sad. It's just I'm saddened by people more and more.
They're quick to judge.
Right. Well, and even beyond that, the fact that you don't believe, I was only 225 pounds when I was wrestling, not like I was, but the fact that you automatically think that a person is incapable of having some discipline and consistency and restraint and adhering, but you automatically go, boom, it's got to be steroids, because I guess deep down inside, they feel as though they can never achieve that on their, themselves when they could. Anybody could do what I'm doing now, the puppets, the animation, the wrestling. I was not a good
I wouldn't
wrestler.
say the wrestling, man. The wrestling, not everybody could do, bro.
As long as you're mentally tough. I was not a good wrestler.
I want to be Cookie's manager.
Quick story. Okay, in high school, to fit in, because I was like, it wasn't cool being a musician in my school. I decided, okay, what sport can I try? So I said, I'm going to be a wrestler, right? So anyway, I was so bad at it. I trained really hard, and it was really cool because I never got in shape before, and I did this. And then all of a sudden, our first match came up. So anyway, I was so terrible during the I don't even know what you call them, a scrimmage or whatever, with those people on your team. So I was so terrible that I think I weighed like 130 pounds, but they put me in like the super heavyweight class because everybody that was better than me, which was everybody, took up all the real weight classes. So I had to wrestle against people that are like 5 times my size. And anyway, I got the shit beat out of me all the time.
Jus Riffin.
But I respect and appreciate the fact that you just said fucking and try. Like, as long as you have the courage, like I said, I was not a good wrestler. I was a good wrestler in the respect of I'm a personality. So and I understood showmanship. So I got in shape like my idols, Macho Man Randy Savage, the Total Package, Lex Luger, Hawk and Animal. I was started training when I was a kid, and I bought my own weights and stuff like that. And got gym memberships. So I understood, but I was not a good writer. I was like in the music world what a pop singer would be that can't write his own music, can't choreograph his moves, can't even pick his own fashion out, and people do it for him. And then they're pretty though, so they can come up and go blah 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 blah.
Hey, but let's just say we got like Whitney Houston. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, people we're talking about music.
Whitney Houston was a good singer though.
But they have great. They have great singers, and their voice is such a tool that really that's all they should be doing. Frank Sinatra, whatever you're into. I'm not, but I want to say this about your wrestling though. Your showmanship was fucking awesome. I actually went to a live match, so I can say it firsthand. And even though I don't know what the standards are of a good wrestler, because I'm obviously not one, and I haven't dove into the sport enough to know about to give you an educated response to that. But I will say this. I mean, we saw the clip. Everybody saw the clip before the show. I don't know if you call that a good wrestler, but what you do with that wrestling, what you did, like, I mean, I saw you do like backflips, fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, but not like a court jester, like a fucking physical machine.
But once again, it's a backflip. It's fucking Mighty Morphin Power Ranger shit. That ain't pro wrestling. Is like pro wrestling is being able to lock up nice tight, collar and elbow and make it look like you're trying to struggle. And then you take the head, you put it on a nice fucking side lock, and then you take the arm, you put it into a wrist lock, into a hammer lock, side headlock takeover, work the head, work the the psychology.
You ever give anybody a noogie? You ever give anybody a noogie when you're doing?
That's funny. I should have thought of that. That's funny as shit. That should have been my fucking gimmick. But it's the psychology of it. Whereas, you can teach me how to do flips all day, but that's showy. And once again, like Andre the Giant, he was an attraction. He wasn't a great wrestler, but because he was bigger in life, and a lot of guys like George the Animal Steel, an attraction. Now, the Ultimate Warrior, he wasn't a good wrestler, and I was an attraction. And I'm not saying to belittle myself as much as the truth is the truth. Just because you want to be an actor doesn't mean you should necessarily be an actor.
Understood. Sure. Yeah. What's the most vigorous, hardest match you've ever wrestled?
There was a handful. My last match was an hour match, which was some bullshit because it was a Royal Rumble type thing where 30 participants and my wow. I wasn't supposed to come into the match till around 30.
Yeah.
The day of the show.
Huh.
The promoter's like, you're number one. I changed the whole script. You mother.
Wow.
And I had stopped doing cardio because I had already decided this was my last show.
Yeah.
Fuck this. The sport is not the sport that I fell in love with. No disrespect to it, but I'm like, I'm done. So I had stopped training as much, so I didn't have a cardio. And so I'm in there for an hour, but that was tough. This ladder match I had against Sabu, that was tough as shit.
Now the ladders, those are like the legit, or are they softened? You know, they're legit, right?
That's you're taking the ladder up your ass, essentially.
Yeah.
Like bang bang, you're climbing up the ladder to grab the belt. Ladies and gentlemen at home, a ladder match is when a guy has a belt, his heavyweight championship, whatever title up for grabs. The referee ties the belt to something. They raise it up in the air 20 feet, and the two combatants have to climb a ladder to then retrieve the belt to win the belt. So you have to climb the ladder. So when you climb the ladder, the other guy's coming over, boom, knocking you.
Wow.
You can't train to fall off a fucking 20-foot ladder.
No, true to that. Now, speaking of that, what do you think, just your opinion here, of the recent ladder match with Cody and Cody Rhodes, the son of the late great Dusty Rhodes?
Stupid. I'm sorry.
And Kevin Owens.
Yeah, it's just stupid, and then that's another reason why I'm like, this is. And when I was younger, I was part of the problem. I was all being goofy because the show was becoming goofier and more cartoonish, and it had the ebbs and flows. There's been times in the 90s when it was cartoonish, freaking Repo Man and stuff like that. But for Kevin Owens for both of them to take bumps like that, there was no need for that. You can still have a ladder match and not kill yourself. One bump, as you know, Kevin Owens took where, the Alabama
slam off the top rope.
You could die, and it's like, for what? For the audience is invested in you as a character. You don't need to kill yourself.
Right. They did go all out, man. But there's some matches that are like this, and I think a lot of times that's just that heart that they have, knowing that there's still people out there that say it's fake, right? And so
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of that's in them. That's like, we're gonna just go all out. That's what else can we do here? You know?
Yeah. Let me go back on that and say, not go back, like take back my statement as much as hardcore matches and extreme matches definitely have their place for sure. But to me, your heavyweight champion like Cody Rhodes, he's not a younger man, and neither is Kevin Steen. They've done bumps like that before, and I get it. You know, it's the one time. But for the longevity and the protection of the company, they could have died. They could have hit your head wrong.
Yeah. There's no guarantee that you're going to land right.
You leave that for the mid card guys that are working their way up, that are younger, and that could. Did you see the bump that oh man, what's the kid with the big head from Judgment Day?
Oh yeah, where he hit his head. I forget his name, but yeah, I know who you're talking about. He hit his head on the announcement table. I feel
like I'm disrespecting him by
JD Madonna. Yeah. But homeboy didn't catch him.
Yeah,
couldn't catch him. It was coming too fast.
And the problem was, I watched the Stevie Richards podcast, a former ECW guy and WWF guy. He was saying the positioning where the thing happened was by the table. If that announce table wasn't there, it would have been fine.
Right.
He would just roll back and not hit his head on.
You know what I was saying? Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was saying, why did they do it on that side? They should have did it on the ramp side when there's so much more room over there.
Fine. But his head, Cookie, when this guy did a flip from the top rope over the top, and his head at the back of the announce table, like wham, like. I mean,
got a concussion. But tough. He ended up finishing the match, but ended up with he's out for weeks now because that was
broken ribs and broken other. So his neck didn't get broken amazingly, but his ribs and punctured lung.
Yeah.
You know, this makes me think. I have two questions for you based off of this. I'm sorry if they're silly questions, but but it just makes me think. Like, first off, okay, we had that Tyson fight, with what's his name, Paul, whatever. Fight, okay, now, but we had that. I want to know what your thoughts were on that happening, and also, I want to know if there's ever like a little thing inside he says, you know what, I'm going to go out in the ring just to fucking do it like one more time or a couple more times.
As far as the Tyson fight, it was dumb, as I think we could all agree. But I get it, and I'm 100% okay with it because boxing is a joke anyway now. Yeah. No one takes it serious. And the fact that an old man like Mike Tyson that's fucked up his money so many times had a chance to make that kind of cash for doing jack shit,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. And the fact that the Paul kid, hey, you figured out how to make money. God bless you, cuz he's not necessarily disrespecting the sport and saying boxing is weak. No, we all allowed this to happen. Or the promoters
Everybody knew what it was. I mean, it was a spectacle. That's really it. A chance to see Tyson,
right.
in the ring again. Look, honestly, I think Tyson could have knocked him out, like with a couple.
Oh hell
of,
yeah! It
was murdered him. Yeah,
it was more fixed than pro wrestling in that respect. It was like
100%, dude.
They made
100%.
sure that Mike, because when you wrestle, we know who the winner's going to be. The promoter's like, okay, in this match, man, he's going to win, and that's going to be a grudge thing. He gets 2 more, and you can. So
right.
like the Road Warriors famously said when they had a match against the Fantastics, and they were supposed to lose the tag team titles. They got to the ring. Road Warrior Animal stood in front of Stan Kern, Steve Lane and Stan Kern, the Fantastics, or the fabulous ones. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And then he goes, "We're not going for the finish, brother." He was like, "Fuck that! Try and pin my ass. I will fuck you up." And guess what? They did. The bell rings. The Road Warriors start throwing fucking chairs at him. It's like, yeah, I got a script for you, bitch. So she could get real fast. Wow.
Yeah.
So they told Mike Tyson going into this fight, don't kill this kid. And Mike could have easily said, yeah, when the bell rang, that finish doesn't work for me, brother. And one body shot. At his age, one body shot would have collapsed him.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man.
Do you think there's a deal like made up like with where if he would have won, he wouldn't have got any money? Do you think it's that fixed?
No, he wouldn't have got as big of a purse, I believe. And what I'm speculating.
Yeah, of course.
I believe there was a deal made like, hey, if you fuck this kid up, we're only gonna give you X percentage of this gate and shit, so that Tyson would have more incentive to not. He could spit on that guy and knock him out.
Yeah. 100%, dude. 100, dude. Speaking of, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
Part 2 of the question. There's a few times back in the day where I thought, yeah, one more time, but it's just I'm good. I don't even, you know what, too, because a couple promotions every once in a while they'll say, hey, come back, blah blah blah. We'll put the belt on you. I'm like, dude, that's some bullshit. That's insulting that you would just to try to get me to come back. Right. You would just fuck a storyline, fuck the fans. Did I earn that position for you to put the fucking? It's really disrespectful to the sport
to say that.
Yeah, come back. I'm just gonna put the belt on you. You haven't done shit. You're fat and out of shape. I'm gonna put the belt on. Really disrespectful. That's the reason why I would not go back now. Because now they let guys wrestle women. They got women beating men for the heavyweight champ. Oh yeah, I want to win the belt that a chick just won. Sure, the heavyweight champions. No disrespect to women.
Oh, man.
Some of the greatest wrestling matches I've ever seen were women versus women. I'm not.
Yeah. They did. The women go all out. I think
women should not be wrestling men. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. And shit.
I think Michelle McCool is going into the Hall of Fame, and she had said something that where she was wrestling. I forget who it was. I forget who she was wrestling, but at any rate, they were doing so well, better than the guys. And when they got backstage, they said, you got to go back out and do it again because you're making the guys look bad. And somebody stood up and said, no, like, no way. Like if the guys aren't, doing their thing, that's on them, not on the girls. It has nothing to do with that. Fabulous Sherry, I think she was fighting.
Yeah, because Sherry Martel ain't no fucking joke. Well, if it was Sherry Martel, but Michelle McCool is garbage, so I find that story kind of hard to believe. How that story got her, because she's garbage. The only thing she wrestles is the Undertaker's dick, and that's why she's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, because she married the Undertaker.
Okay. Speaking of I want to go back because we were talking about like Jake Paul and whatnot. So his brother Logan is obviously is wrestling now. Now I got to give it up to Logan because he's still doing those jumping and he's still doing it. Okay, regardless. Yeah. So what's your take on his involvement in WWE these days?
I have the utmost respect for him on so many levels. And the crowd boos the shit out of him, and I understand. Yeah, but they boo him more than Dominic almost because it's like you're not one of us. You're you're a social media guy just coming in here and you wrestle. Fuck you.
But he is doing the moves. He is doing the shit though.
Right, he's doing the moves, but he's not good. And I respect him, and he's better than I was.
Yeah.
Like one of the things I was horrible at too was memorizing the spots. Okay, boom, boom, I'm going to slam you. dude, I don't know how many times the whole match I'll be in the match like, okay, where are we now, brother? And the guy tells me, okay, I'm gonna do 2 back elbows and clothesline. Like, okay, where are we now? I remember one match. I think it's the match with the chain match where you have a clip of me choking the guy with the chain.
Yeah.
The bell's ringing and the referee's making the announcements and the crowd's extra loud that night. Thank God, because I'm like, yo, I don't remember the finish, man. What the fuck? Like, so Logan Paul has a really good. It's a lot of you have to. It's live. It's like it's a live play. It's a lot of, you got to memorize. You got to be smart. You have to be smart. So Logan Paul is good, but he's green in a lot of ways. But once again, my hat's off to that motherfucker from what he did in social. Once again, social media, what he's done. And I don't get it. I've seen some of his shit. I don't find it entertaining, but I respect that shit. He took that, him and his brother. God bless. I got nothing but respect for the guy. And he's in great shape physically.
Yeah, do your thing, right? Get it done. There's been a lot of cool like celebrities. I think Bad Bunny did a pretty good job in his wrestling match with I forget who it was that they wrestled against. Yeah, Damian Priest.
Who I used to train with at the Monster Factory. Me and him had tag team matches together.
Damian Priest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to ask me about, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm just still not a fan of Damian Priest, man.
No, me either. And it saddens me because one of the things I enjoy about watching wrestling now is seeing guys I work with like Adam Cole and so forth and so. The referee Jessica Carr, she used to be a wrestler, but then she became a referee.
Yeah.
She used to be she used to be a big giant pork chop.
Yes, she's done a lot for herself.
Yeah, and I commend her because it's cool to be fat. Like I'm totally cool because within reason. Once you get to be obese, then it's just not you're asking for your heart, the sake of your heart. Yeah, but to have a gut and whatever, go for it. Like enjoy life, eat, drink, and be merry. But she was like Lupa shit.
Now look at her though. Now she's in shape. She's doing well. She's feeling better about herself, and she's on the main roster now. She's on Raw.
I have so much respect for her, just as a person too. She was always super nice. But it's great watching these people thrive in that industry. But yeah, something about, and I've heard from my favorite podcast in particular, Jim Cornette's Experience and the Jim Cornette drive-through, where they say, and they keep like myself. Yeah, we like Damian Priest, but it's like the it factor. Not everybody can be Macho Man.
The factor is not there.
Yeah, not everybody can be Razor Ramon. Not everyone can be Shawn Michaels. Like he's a good wrestler and a good worker, and he has a good person. And he's a great person. But not everybody could be Jimi Hendrix. You can't. Not everybody can be Eddie Van Halen. You could be awesome on guitar, but not everybody can be fucking Phil Collins.
Yeah. I mean, they put him over, you know what I mean? That's for whatever reason they put him over, and I put him in the same Baron Corbin. I thought was the same kind of style of wrestler. It was like there was, I was like not impressed.
Hey,
nothing there.
I think Damian Priest has much more of a look, of a marketable look and
more
presence.
Marketable,
Then I never understood why they were pushing Baron Corbin, that mother. But let's talk about something else. I'm sure your audience is like, these niggas.
We're talking about wrestling.
I mean, it's interesting for me to wrestling thing because I know absolutely nothing about it except for what I've actually seen you do. And I do remember you were talking about big women. I remember when I was a kid at my grandma's, we'd have it on sometime, and I was really young. And I remember Mount Fiji. You remember her?
Oh yeah, Glow, gorgeous lady wrestler.
I'm just saying. I may have rubbed one out to Mount Fiji a match one time.
Look,
maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
I did that shit a couple of months ago on some real shit. I do have appreciation for and they want to say, "Oh, big, she's fat." They're fat, skinny people. Fat. Everyone's so
cool, man.
Hypersensitive about labels. Like Mr. Hefner made fun of my name at the last show. He had it was cool because everybody got a laugh out of it. The Noom guys, because it's humor. It's like one of my favorite lines is it's a joke, not a dick. Don't take it so hard.
Oh Jesus! Yo, check this out real quick. But the wrestling thing and all that stuff. So I really appreciate the conversation. But going back to the music thing and going back to what you were saying about Jake, is that his name? Jake Paul?
Jake and Logan, yeah, both.
Oh, Jake Logan. So I don't really. I've never remembered anything that I've seen of theirs, and I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it didn't resonate with me. Now, this is what is peculiar to me. What's interesting to me is how do you feel about this? Because that's what you said, Ahto. And then also, how do you feel as an artist? And I ask you this because this is something pretty much every artist I know thinks about, and not that they're worried about the likes, but how do you feel like when you like I know the amount of time it takes you. I can imagine, and I'm probably pretty close to make one of your videos with the animation, any of it, the puppets, the music. We didn't even really touch on the music part that much, but it takes you a long ass fucking time. And you know damn well, I mean, let's just be real, because like I know damn well, if I'm looking at me, you know damn well, like not a whole lot of people are gonna see that. And if they do see it,
0 likes.
like what now, what
No
is the king of that?
comments. Yeah.
But what do you think though? Like, do you think like and I respect the fact that I really don't think, like, I know you create from a place that doesn't really give a shit. Of course, we all want people to appreciate our work. I think that goes without saying.
It's artists for
But
sharing.
it doesn't fuel you making it. Like, you're making it whether nobody sees it and it sits under a fucking sofa or whatever. You're making that shit. I know that because I know you well enough to say that. And but what do you think about these platforms and the fact that you're basically throwing a tree falling in the woods with a billion people there, but nobody hears it?
It's hurtful, but quite frankly, and this is where people, and if anybody's in the chat or something happens, or in the future, if you want to comment, and I'll have open discourse about it. If you're a hater, that's fine. We could discuss it like humans. But it's hurtful, and I do get jealous at times, but then I get over the jealousy because it is like I live, eat, and breathe this. Right now, I go grocery shopping, not even grocery shopping, like once a month just to buy a couple of generic cans of coffee because I don't buy food. I go to the local food bank like a bum where there's a refrigerator in my neighborhood to get canned goods, and they have a pantry. But I go at night so that the actual families could get their share of whatever first. And I go out once a week and I get, I eat canned beans, and like that's it right now, so that I can work part-time and devote to my time I have to design the puppets. I have to make the puppets from scratch. I dumpster dive every fucking week. I have to design the puppets, make the puppets. I have to build the set pieces for the fucking puppets. I have to fucking film the fucking puppets and shit.
Wow.
What's the name of that puppet?
This is Romer. His name's Romer. I like to give it a little twist. Now, I named him Romer after one of my favorite songs from the musician Falco, who is now dead. But he had this song.
Commissar Falco?
Yes, exactly. And I actually have another puppet whose name is Commissar, but I spell it differently. But these are some of my warrior puppets that I don't know if you can see that they have actual legitimate blades attached to them, so that when they're sword fighting, you can actually hear a click, click, click. Because I didn't want to get some fake ass plastic.
Is that a real knife?
Was that? Yeah,
it's a real knife.
It's yup, straight up.
Oh shit!
It's a steel blade, and so this way, when the fight happens, you can hear the clacking of the swords, and you can see the reflections of the light and the fights and everything, and it gives it so much more of an immersive feeling instead of cheating the audience, which I like to believe is intelligent, and giving them some plastic bullshit. I was like, and I almost fucked myself up a bunch of times with these guys, but. What was I saying before that? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
We were just talking about the time you put into things versus
so
the exposure.
This, and like shit like this, the feathers. When I have some money, I'll order shit from Temu, and I'll get like a thing of feathers and attach it to the puppet and everything.
With that tariff now, you might want to hit Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I know, and that's a whole thing. But it's not a big deal because necessity is the mother of all inventions and shit. But when I put all this time into the animation, coming up with the names for these fucking characters, the names of the places, like the puppet show Sol Satol, and the idea of it, the land. It's an imaginary world beyond the grave. Some people refer to it as the burning souls of Sol Satol. And I got a composition book filled with everybody's backstories. This isn't some meaningless, hey, puppet, nah, this is some like hard, very involved, intricate shit between that, the puppets, the music. I always have about 6 songs that I'm sitting on, between the ukulele, which I purchased recently, a 12-string guitar, I got a piece of, and then somebody will post a reaction video going, oh, Disney's woke ass Snow White, and people just can't wait once again to hate on something, because hate is like, that's today's currency. And they can't wait. They're like, yeah, fuck Disney and their fucking woke ass. And they get for every reaction video for shit like that. And then here I am. And all the guy's doing is reacting to something he didn't create. No imagination, no creation, no actual sweat, equity involved. No, but here I am starving myself, eating fucking beans. And this is where people will make an excuse. Oh, I got to work a full-time job. I don't have time to make puppets and blah, blah. Well, guess what? You do. You just guess what? You go to your local fucking food bank, or you just buy canned beans from the fucking Dollar Tree and shit. And you can make shit where there's no excuse, especially when you get to be our age. We ain't got time for excuses. Like Master Yoda said, there's no trying. You either do or you do not.
Yeah. I want to chime in real quick on what you said right there. Like, oh, I work a full-hour week and everything. It's funny because, as you know, Ahto, like everybody here, we all keep really busy. None of us have too much time on our hands. But I remember this one time I was at a show that I was playing for a promoter that I was doing for a benefit for their place, right? And somebody was talking about some animations or something I forget. And the dude's comment that I was doing the show for said, "Oh, you got too much time on your hands." And I wanted to be like, motherfucker, like I work like,
too much.
Too much. But what my point is that when you're passionate about something, it doesn't matter. You can work 500 hours. You shouldn't probably. It's probably not a good idea, right. But you're still going to figure out how to get it done, because when you're passionate about something and when you're here to create something, nothing's going to get in your way. Not a job, not some douchebag judging you or whatever. Like, you're going to make that shit.
And creation is work. Like what I'm doing, like before we went live, I'm editing videos because every Sunday I'm dropping a new episode of Soul Sato, which is a pain in my fucking dick. Because I have one follower now, and that's all I need. There's one guy, you know, Julius, our good friend Jason Cottrell, who is the hardest critic in the world. Every week now he's like, yes, I want a Nygar t-shirt, and he's really into it. And dude will tell you, I'm not feeling it because of this. But he's a wrestling fan, a comic book fan, and once again, too, I understand my shit isn't for everybody. It's not like easily digestible. I'm like Julius was saying, my genres musically are all over the place, so I get it. But like, just to totally have the entire world dismiss me when I upload weekly, and even friends and family especially. I had my fucking cunt. He had this fucking cunt. My aunt, she had the nerve to call me up, interrupting me, editing a video, and beg me to play guitar for her wannabe upstart band. And when I respectfully declined, telling her, well, I have this YouTube channel that I weekly upload and put my work, my heart and soul into. I have these stories that I have to get out, and it's work. It's actual work all day, all night. I plan my whole life around it. I don't talk to them. I haven't been with a woman since before the pandemic because I've been boom, boom, boom. Because before the pandemic, I realized if I'm hanging out with her, how's my shit getting fucking done? Now, if there's a woman that we're on the same page and she could be a partner, that's different. But my fucking aunt is like, blah, blah, blah. Well, dude, you need to, and it's a shame you're not successful. I'm like, dude, look, success is how you, like, success isn't just fucking about money and shit. Like success does not require an audience.
Yo,
but it depends on the individual, depending on the individual. But so she said, oh, I didn't know you had this going on. Send me a link. Send her 2 links. Crickets. No, so now you remember me when you need something to play guitar for you because she's the drummer.
Jus Riffin.
I want to dig deeper into that though, because I remember a while back. I remember it was a couple years ago, and the community here, there was a guy, and he's still here doing a lot of cool shit, Jack Butcher, and he created a lot of interesting projects. And I actually dug deep into his website before it was even popping off, and I just thought it was super interesting. And remember, I sent you the article, Ahto, if you remember. He talked about how it's not about family and friends, and we shouldn't look at them for support. And I really resonate with that. And you gave me a different take on it, but I just want to say, like, and your stuff, I feel that it's brilliant. And one of the things why I think it's brilliant is because it's not super accessible, like, to me. And if it's super accessible, that means it's usually just, I mean, it may as well be something you created, like, with ChatGPT, with none of your input. Tell ChatGPT, hey, make me a picture of a forest, and that's it, and just do that. Right. But if you're gonna, it'll dig from all its resources to say this was the most popular, accessible stuff, and they're gonna make you that forest. But that stuff, like you said, like earlier, but I believe too, it lacks soul. And it's like the challenge is, though, I agree with Jack Butcher, where like we shouldn't expect our family to
Well, and we've
resonate with
discussed
our.
this a lot because I remember because I always called him Jack the Butcher because I
Yeah.
distinctly remember this conversation because I still disagree with him. Like, I believe we should because that like you guys talk about community a lot. I watch the show because I'm communal and supportive, so I'm subscribed to your channel with the notifications bell on, and I always press like before the show even starts to show my support to encourage others to do that. And it's like it's got to start somewhere. And you guys are my friends. You're not my family, but Cookie practically is. But and according to Jack the Butcher, I know it's Jack Butcher, but I like calling him Jack. It sounds so much. According to Jack the Butcher, we should, because that's when we were growing up in the fucking 80s. It was a community. Your neighbor would know your mama. Hey, I saw Junior at the store buying cigarettes. That shit ain't cool. People, the community will look out for you. There's an old expression: it takes a village to raise a child, or something like that. Meaning that everybody should be pulling in and supportive. Like what the fuck? Like we should expect our family and friends to have our goddamn fucking backs. I disagree with Jack on that one.
For sure. And the point I was making is I kind of agree. Like, I don't say I agree with him, but I resonate with that notion. And I can relate because, but I do want to say this though, and especially in cases of, I think, I don't want to talk about your music, not mine, but your music and your whole art, everything. I think it's such a niche, but here's the challenge. I think, first off, people always talk, oh, you know, like if you have 1,000 people that rock with the shit you make, you can actually create sustainability off of that. And I believe that. But the thing is, there's so many fucking people on the planet. Like how you have social media, and I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying we have better tools and better, chances than we ever had at reaching people these days. However, like when you have 1,000 out of however many, like how do we find that audience that would really resonate with your stuff? Like I remember I was talking to you in the car about it a couple weeks ago, where I was like, you did some shit, and it reminded me of like, and I may making a reference that nobody really understands, but when I was a kid, there was this public show on where they showed horror movies on Saturdays, and there was a host, and his name was Dr. Shock, and he was wild. But anyway, but you didn't give me that vibe, but I was like, I saw it as something that would add to your thing, like not Dr. Shock, but a character, because your stuff is so specific and just like a character. And then I saw you created this character, Nygar, and I think it's awesome. I think it's really fucking cool and it's sick.
And
but
I thank you for that inspiration.
I think it's cool, but like it's wild because, and then I want to say this too, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but sometimes I wonder though, like sometimes those public stations like Dr. Shock that I was watching as a kid, I was watching it and digging it, but it was kind of weird. There might have only been,
I watched it.
Yeah.
I mean, I went back and watched the clips after you told me, yeah.
But they're probably, I'm guessing, there's probably like 38 people watching that show. But it was on TV, right? But what I'm saying is, it's like when we talk about one person that's watching your channel, it's like it's still very powerful. Like if somebody is watching your shit and being moved by it, no matter what the number is, no matter how small, sometimes the smaller number is really even cooler because you can really get to know each one of them. And
that's my goal is to that's why I get offended in a sense when like I said, my one Cantiante just kind of it's a shame you never made it. Like, who said I didn't make it? According to what? Like I couldn't be happier in my life right now. I'm like I work a part-time gig where I clean up cat shit. I'm cool with that because I like cats and I don't have anybody hovering over me. I can walk there, which enables me to spend more time on my work. So I no complaints, and I could work more hours, but then I wouldn't be able to work as much on because my life is my life. My life ain't to be flipping pizzas for somebody and shit. I got shit I need to get out. Now, if you need to flip pizzas, that's your gimmick, But like you said, small audience. Also, too, the more people you have, the more people are going to be fucking fraudulent. You're just going to have motherfuckers that are there just because it's the popular thing. They're just going to speak in emoji and whatever. At least I know. Give me one dude and one chick. Like, that's all I'm saying. So I can know some chicks like it. So I got the one chick representing some of the women. I got the one. Cool. That's all I need because I know if they're there, it means a lot to them. And I can't ask for a lot more, or I won't ask for a lot more because I know what I do is fucking weird. In the world, I'm not dialed in. Like, I'm the only person I think that I know that absolutely does not use emojis at all. I never LOL'd or none of that shit. I don't do it. So I think I'm in a weird place where I understand why a person would not want to, or wouldn't understand my artistic outlook.
Yeah, for sure.
Most def, man. Well, it is that time. It's about 10 p.m. and it is time for us to end the show. We could, literally talk forever. There's so much to talk about music wise, wrestling, life. You know what I mean?
I'd like to hear
Future.
from that Ryan Neal guy from Noom again about
Yeah.
if you ever think about
Hopefully
potential.
we can get the Dev on that plays the accordion.
Right. That would be awesome.
That's right.
That's fascinating.
I wanted to just share this with everybody. So I've been saying for a while, protect the devs, because the devs are really the people that are behind the scenes that take your ideas and make them come to life by code and creating things that, the average bear is not coming up with. So I made these t-shirts.
That's nice.
Protect the devs.
I love it.
That's clean as shit. That's what's up.
Yeah. So if you like them, I'll put the link up. Go support. The proceeds are going to help us continue on and to do better, get better equipment. Yeah, and grow. So all the proceeds will go to go back into what we're doing. And I'll put the link up too. AA Rashed, it's been a pleasure, man. I want to say thank you so much for your time coming through and hanging out with us and doing this. I know you're 50, but I want you to get back in the ring. I would love to see you just do it. A steel cage match with Cookie Rabinowitz, and I think, you guys can bring props like your guitars and music instruments would be cool, and do like a hardcore match or do like a heavy metal match. You know what I'm saying? And rock on in the ring, dude.
If he gets in the ring again, I'm not fighting him. If he gets in the ring again, I'm not fighting him. I'm going to be like fucking the Penguin. What's his name again? What's his name? You know what I'm talking about.
Penguin.
Rocky, chase the chicken, Rocky.
Oh, Burgess Meredith.
I'm going to be Burgess. I'm going to be your Burgess if you get back in the ring. I'm like, chase the chicken,
ring coach.
Chase the chicken.
He's gonna be your
ring coach. That's
your
it.
Trainer.
So anybody that's going to hear this, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Turn the notifications bell on, because it just helps. You want to support the things that you like and encourage them by showing them that you are pressing the like button. It's there. Press it, please.
It's free.
It's free.
It helps us. It helps
It'll
us
make
out a
you
great
feel
deal.
good.
Yeah, 100%. So AA, why don't you give out your YouTube channel and like where people can follow you and find more information about you and what you're doing and what you're gonna be, coming out with your new stuff.
Well, right now my channel is named after this show, and I believe it's going to stay. I'm going to keep it Nigar by Night. That's the name of the show, because going forward, I'm going to have the character Nigar. That's N-I-G-H-A-R by B-Y Night, as in N-I-G, not as in a night of knighthood, a nighttime. Nigar by Night. Because from going on forward, I'm going to have Nigar introduce everything, almost like MTV. He's going to introduce my music videos. Cool. I've been writing poetry, so he's going to introduce. He'll go, this week we have something from a man named, blah blah blah, and then I'll write the, so it's pretty much going to be his channel, because I think he's more interesting than myself anyway. So Nigar by Night on YouTube, if you're interested. That's the only place you can find me. I don't have anything else anymore, because I could only get ignored in so many platforms. So I'm only on YouTube now.
Right on. I want to ask you before we go, there was, since you make these puppets, there's this old school movie. I couldn't, really watch the whole thing. It was kind of like this, low budget style movie, but it was called Black Devil Doll. Are you familiar with this? Have you heard of?
I haven't heard of that one yet.
All right, let me see if I can.
Haven't heard of that one yet.
Okay, I'm gonna just try and share a little bit of this.
Is that from the 80s or the 70s?
No, this was like 2007. I'm gonna
shit.
just play a little bit of this here. Hilarious.
Hey, who's there?
Black Devil Doll.
Oh, yes.
Is it an actual whole movie?
Convicted killer on death row.
We are
Yeah.
just moments away from the state-ordered execution of 1960s black militant radical Mufia Abu Jamal.
A lonely gal with a Ouija board.
Is anyone out there?
Fate brings them together.
It's like the Ouija board just came on his face. That was fucking awesome.
This is some tasty ass pussy. Reminds me of my mama's fried chicken.
Oh my god.
His soul trapped in a motherfucking puppet.
So I mean, look, this is
It's fantastic. Now, does it have a lot of traffic on the channel for that video?
Oh yeah, I don't know. This movie was done like in 2007, and I mean, this was like one of those like really underground type of things. But I think, I think it had its cult following, and just they made puppets and they made posters, and people were buying the little like puppet, and it's just. Look, what this is going back 2007. When I first saw it, you can imagine it was super new. And just the puppet and the voiceover with just the shit that was being said, and just seeing that it's a puppet and running around like
in the 70s music. Everything is like, it's
like a black exploitation flick.
I'm gonna see if I can find it online because I'm always looking for a great artist borrows and a good artist borrows and a great artist steals. So I'm always looking to nab a little something that and spin off of it and whatnot.
Dude, please go check it. I didn't want to play the whole thing, the whole trailer, but you got to check it. Called Black Devil Doll. It's they went. When you're like, okay, I'm gonna see how far I can push this.
Right.
Yeah. That's what they did.
When he started going down on the chick, I'm like, oh, they're not fucking around. So that's for me.
Yeah.
I'll watch the shit out. Fucking a puppet munching carpet. I'm there.
Yeah, it's hilarious, dude. You got to see. It's just they did a great job. Low budget stuff.
And it kind of looks like they took a fucking Lester from Willie Tyler and Lester down.
Yeah.
Dude, it was fucking awesome as shit.
Sure.
It's just hilarious, bro. I just hear him. He's like, I need some trim, bitch. Like, it's just funny. Like, he's, they use like, racial slurs and stuff in there, but it's a black guy did it, put it together. So
but that's why it's fun too. One of my favorite things to do is to watch 80s horror movies, because especially they didn't give a fuck. Like, they were black guys with boom boxes, eating chicken, and like the white guy calling them words and the black guy calling, F you, Yeah. It was just like, hey, but nobody was like, it wasn't hateful. You're just ragging and shit. You can call somebody a name without being hateful.
This guy.
Yeah, that's some Willie Tyler and Lester shit right there. Willie
Tyler and Lester, bro. That was, dude, Willie Tyler and Lester. I think they were on Laugh Records. It was Willie Tyler and Lester, right?
Yeah.
I'm just looking this up because yes. I think originally when he first started, they were on Laugh Records.
Our next guest tonight is a legendary ventriloquist who has been entertaining audiences for 30 years. Please welcome to the first night of Ventriloquist Week, Willie Tyler and Lester, everybody.
That was great.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is my partner, William. He grew up in Detroit. He comes from Woodstock. My name is Lester. I grew up in upstate New York. I come from Woodstock.
Just too good, man. Too good that you brought him up. Brought him up, man.
You grew up with the good stuff.
Yeah, we grew up with the good stuff where there was no wokeness, man. It was like say what you wanted to say.
But with that too,
days.
real quick in closing, like once again, that's why today's generation, I get it. They don't give a damn about puppets and animation necessarily, especially about a big pork chop eating black guy playing the ukulele. So I get it that I have, no audience. But for those looking for something different and consistent, stop by my channel. It's definitely or not. Fuck it.
I just want to chime in real quick. I posted Ahto's YouTube link. It's pinned to Jus Riffin. I'm going to post it again on my personal site, which is streaming right now. We're on the other computer. And then, but people check it out because there's nothing like it. It's its own.
If you're
thing.
into other stuff, yeah. If you're into sci-fi, comic books.
One other thing. This guy. Sorry to talk about you in the third person while I'm funny, but this guy probably puts up like. I don't want to give a number because I don't want to make you feel pressured, but it's almost every day you're making something and putting it up. It seems like to me, it's like it's almost impossible to keep up with. Like I can't watch. Like there's not enough time in a day to watch what you create from scratch in a day. It's mind-boggling, really.
I do it weekly now because now there's a lot of the videos are running. The runtime is about 10 to 15 minutes with the inclusion of Nygar, and I'm making the story for the puppets bigger and more expansive. It's legitimately like on some Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, like super deep in the mythos. Just from writing the backstory of these characters, it tied into this whole thing where now I have this giant expansive world and places. The whole second floor here that I'm renting is built into sets for the puppets. So it's but yeah, it takes about a week to get these 10, 15-minute pieces up. But then in between that, I put up music and music videos and other than animation, whatever. But it's definitely weekly though.
Very cool.
That's a lot, dude. That's a lot of, a lot of work. It's doing it, on a daily like that. That takes a lot of dedication and much props to you, man.
It's all just me. Like I gotta operating 2 puppets at once. I built like a neck harness to hold the phone. I got a shitty Android that I use, and I always have to clear off the storage because it gets full, and I'm deleting shit as I'm recording. It's retarded. My life is a fucking nightmare. But I get it done somehow.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate
All right.
it.
Yes, sir. Well, I want to say thank you again, man. Appreciate it for you, being here with us and hanging out. Definitely come back anytime you'd like. And when there's a new project that you have that you're working on, anything that you want to promote or have us mention, just let us know. Obviously, we'll take care of that for you, man. Cookie Rabinowitz, dude, thank you too. Always for your time. Always great doing the show with you, man. I can't do it without you, man. Thank you for the show.
Likewise, man.
All
I
right,
definitely.
buddy.
Yeah, man, for sure. I too, man. Pleasure, man. So thank you so much for coming on, Hef. Likewise, man. What a fun time. What a fun hang. A little chilly, but besides that.
And everybody at home, remember this. We don't need to save the world. It's okay to let things die.
Yeah.
Well said. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is Jus Riffin. We do it every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by Rug Radio. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you next week. Next week, man. I can give me a second. I'll tell you who we got coming on next week real quick.
It's the last week of the month, right? It's our community jam.
No.
28 days in February, or I don't know.
28 days in February. And we have something special. I think we have something. Give me a second because I'm Retardio's cousin going into figure out what the hell I'm looking at.
Mount Fiji. We have Mount Fiji is going to be on next week.
No. Okay. So we have another real cool special guest. Somebody that was my mentor, how I got into DJing and why I got into DJing. So Mr. Mix, he's the DJ and producer from 2 Live Crew, the original 2 Live Crew. He's going to be our guest on the show next week. So please come back and hang out with us. That's going to be a treat. We're going to talk as much as we can. I know that there's some stuff that he's not going to be able to talk about, but we're going to talk about a lot of things. Two Live Crew, a lot of things with him. He's produced for so many different people under Luke Records. He's a pioneer, true pioneer in Miami-based music. He's one of the best Miami-based producers that ever laid his fingers on an 808, an SP12, SP1200, an Akai, a Lynn drum, like you name it. This guy has a great ear, still DJing to this day. So I'm happy and excited because he's an old school friend of mine. So Mr. Mix from Two Live Crew, I say, Tretch DJ Mr. Mix from Two Live Crew will be with us next week.
I can't wait to check that out because I have the notifications bell on. I will know and I will listen.
Right on.
That's right. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next week. Peace.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Jus Riffin. Tuesday night, 8:30 EST. Know where we be. Jus Riffin. Special guest and tech and talk. A musicology. Jus Riffin. Coming to you live at the same time. Here every week. Jus Riffin. Jump in the room. Let's chop it up. It really ain't that deep. Jus Riffin.